I'm with Jani Salokangas from ICEJ. Now, Jani, what is the ICEJ?
The ICEJ is the International Christian Embassy of Jerusalem, and we've been here in Jerusalem supporting the nation of Israel and the people of Israel since 1980.
And how were you started?
We were started back in 1980 when the Knesset did the Jerusalem law, which basically says that the city of Jerusalem is the undivided and eternal capital of Israel. And as a result, all the embassies, because of the UN resolution that was brought up back then, they left Jerusalem. They went back to Tel Aviv. And at that time, there was a group of Christians which said that this is our time to show a different face of Christianity. And everybody knows that the history of the Jewish nation and the Jewish people and the church is not very, very good. So it was a great initiative, and since then we've been, by the faith of God and grace of God, we've been here for 34 years.
And what sort of projects do you do here at the ICEJ?
Well, at the ICEJ, we want to be very hands-on. We want to show in reality, not just in words, that we need to support the people of Israel. And we are helping in more than 20 projects from south to north and east to west. We're helping the Jewish people, we're helping the Arab people, we're helping the Jews, the Bedouins. So we're trying to, when we talk about the people of Israel, we're talking about all the people of Israel. So we're helping for example, kids who are in trouble, who have been taken care by the social services, and they're now taken into these special houses where they've been taken care of because of their very tough backgrounds. We're helping them. We're helping the Bedouin people, which are under very difficult circumstances. We're helping the single mothers in Tel Aviv, in the area of Tel Aviv. We're helping the disabled people in the north. So, and the list goes on and on. So there's a lot of need in the nation of Israel, although it's a modern society.
Now, just recently, Israel has had conflict with Gaza. What sort of things have you been doing to help the Israelis because of the situation from Gaza?
Well, one of the direct consequences of the situation was that there was a quick need for bomb shelters in the region close to Gaza. And for example, myself, I was one day in one of the worst days of the conflict in Kfar Aza, which is a small community 2 kilometers away from the border of Gaza. And we went into that community because they needed urgently bomb shelters because they've been hit by mortars and missiles every day. So we donated 2 bomb shelters for children and for the families because in the community center there was no bomb shelter. So basically, if the children are playing in the community center and then the alarm goes off, in that community they have everything between 0 to 10 seconds to go into the bomb shelter. So we donated quick access bomb shelter. So basically they drilled a hole into the wall, and it's a bomb shelter that they can go and run into immediately. So that's one of the things. Of course, we were helping the elderly people, trying to take them out of the region because they simply cannot, they don't have the speed to get into refuge into those in those seconds. And of course, trying to bring joy and some kind of comfort into the people that were affected in the region.
How would you bring a bomb shelter down to that sort of area? Is it like getting trucks in, and what does it look like?
Yeah, so basically it was like a massive truck with 2 trailers, and it was quickly, put down into the place and installed. So and yes, everything was done under the threat of the missiles. So it sounds very crazy, but I felt very safe, and yes, we did have to actually use the bomb shelter when we were there.
And the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has actually thanked the ICEJ during the crisis, hasn't he?
Yes, he sent us a thank you letter, saying that thank you very much for the support for the nation of Israel and for all the years of support that we've been supporting the nation of Israel. So it's a nice thing for us, but it's just a bonus.
And what is your work here at the ICEJ?
So I am personally, I'm the international director for the young adults, which is called Arise. And because of that, the young people, especially in the church, they don't know much about Israel. So that's a big a big task for me to travel worldwide and teach about what God says about Israel and in general what God has planned for their lives. And because of that, we are very active in the social media and in the media in general, trying to engage and communicate important topics from the Bible to the young people in the world.
When you're going to the churches, do people have very little understanding about Israel? And are you getting anti-Israel feeling when you go there?
Well, yeah, it depends. Like I would say that in Europe, the ground is tougher, I would say. The knowledge, especially of the young adults and the youth concerning Israel, it's very poor. It has very little biblical base, and in general, they're driven by the agenda of the media. So if they know something, usually it's something not that good or is a bit anti-Israel, although they might not even realize it, because they're not studying the Bible, they're not reading the Bible, and they're just taking their information out of the media, which is very biased, anti-Israel.
Yeah. And how important is radio and television?
I would say it's very important, actually. I would say that the television and the media is now changing a bit to be more online television, but it is very important. The young people spend hours a day on online communication forums, and it's very important for us as a ministry, and it should be very important for any ministry and to any church to try to engage and communicate the young people where they are. So of course it requires a lot of effort, skills, but God provides.
And what sort of radio and TV programs do you produce?
So we at the Christian Embassy, we're producing a TV show, a half-an-hour TV show for God TV every week, which is called Word from Jerusalem. And then we also have a 5-minute TV segment in Daystar every week. And besides that, we have magazines. We have online magazines with Arise. We have Arise Now online magazine, which is a quarterly magazine. And then we have podcast and radio shows coming every week out of the embassy. So we're trying to really be engaged with the people in the online world, because the fact is that we're in Jerusalem, we're in Israel, so but the world is slightly bigger than just Israel and Jerusalem. So if we want to communicate to the people in Fiji and Philippines, US, Canada, Brazil, we have to be present online.
And do you provide news about the nation and the land of Israel? And is the news service biased from things like BBC, CNN?
We provide a news service, which is a weekly news service and also a daily news service. And we're trying to gather, I would say, a balanced news, and we're trying to give a truthful idea about what's really happening, not what's happening according to the agenda of a news outlet. So I would say to all the listeners that BBC or CNN doesn't equal the truth. So it's very important to look at other news outlets, and especially to read the Bible and discern the information, because I think today's problem, especially for the young people, is not the lack of information, is the vast extent and the vast amount of information, and the young people are confused because of that, because they don't know what to believe and what not to believe.
Do you think 24-hour news service makes the news difficult because nobody really has a chance to check out and see whether a news story is true?
I think it's of course it's it's a good opportunity, because then you can report things very fast, but also it creates I would say a bit of a pressure for the news outlets and for these news channels, because you need to constantly produce something. Sometimes that news is not there, so they sketch it up, they make it up, they build it up, and they color it a bit up, because at the end of the day they need to pay their bills, and they need to have the viewers to sustain the channel. So as I said, it's very important to have a vast scope of different news outlets, and then from there try to understand the balanced idea about what's really happening.
And for those with smartphones as well, you actually have a news app as well, don't you?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's quite impressive, and it's very interesting how fast information actually travels nowadays. We can be talking right now, and I can be sending a Twitter, and it goes worldwide immediately. So of course it's a big opportunity for all the ministries, all the churches, all the people, but at the same time it creates a big responsibility because we are saying things that go out to the world, and to somebody that might not have a very clear idea about what's really happening, that particular news piece or section or tweet, it might be actually changing his idea about what's really happening, and that's why I say it's a challenge.
And why do you do what you do?
Why do I do what I do? Because I feel that there's a big need for truth. There's a big need for mentors. I think the young people, they're hungry for information. They're hungry for God. They're hungry to know the kingdom. But there's a lot of talking, but very little doing in the Christian world today. And I want to be doing my little part in the kingdom, and I want to be, building people and building, helping the church to do the work that the church is supposed to do. And of course, I've learned to appreciate, and I learned to understand the principles that God has in His plans for Israel. And as a result, as Christians, we should be standing, with pride, and we should be standing firm behind the Bible. And that's one thing that I want to tell to the young people, that in the Bible we are called soldiers, and the soldiers we need to stand firm to what we believe.
And what's your prayer for this nation, for this land?
Well, I would say that my prayer for this nation is that the truth will reveal itself, that the truth will be out in the streets, because there's a lot of confusion in the land, there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of fear. So I would say a godly truth will be revealed into people's heart, into the people's lives, and to the nation of Israel and the region. I think that would be one of the best things that could happen to the whole region. That truth would be set free.
And you have a website for people who'd like to know more?
Yes, we have our ICEJ website. It's www.icej.org, and then our young adults website is www.arisegeneration.org. And from those websites, you will find all you need to connect with us and to be a part of our work.
Okay, Jani, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.